So, what kind of books sell the best? That's a question we've been getting a lot lately. And as I remind all of our authors, people are not going to buy your book, they want to buy your message. And what that really means is that successful nonfiction books are going to offer solutions, hope, answers, relief, and expertise. They want to know what's your big vision, what's your goal, what's your mission in life, and how are you using that book to make that happen. We've narrowed it down to what I call our four categories for the types of nonfiction books that we see are most successful, the types of stories. So the four stories, and we'll go into details here in a second. The four types of stories are soapbox, a struggle story, a system story, or what I call societal, four S's. Now, a soapbox type of story or type of book, that's where you support a cause. Perhaps you're in a nonprofit and you're using a book to tell more about your nonprofit or to use as a additional stream of income as a fundraising project. I've seen nonprofits do that. But you're talking about your movement, you're creating a message, and you're offering a new perspective on why it's great to support that particular event or mission or nonprofit. Now, a struggle story, one of the examples I can think of is we had a woman many years ago, maybe 10, 12 years ago, that had actually um, escaped the Khmer Rouge back during the Vietnam War. She was the oldest, and when I say oldest, she was maybe 16. She was the oldest of five children and they saw their parents get killed. She made it to the US, she was living in Chicago, and she wanted to tell her story. Now, that's definitely a struggle story. She got all of the five kids out of Vietnam and was able to they all moved into the Chicago area and are now living successful lives. But what they went through to get there was amazing, that was a struggle. Now, your struggle doesn't have to be that huge. It could be merely, you know, it could a lot of we've had a lot of books that talk about what it's like to go through a divorce or what it's like to change jobs or what it's like to be laid off and then figure out, am I going to start a new business? What am I going to do? Those types of struggles. People love to hear your message that talks about how you have overcome that struggle. It's the hero's journey type of story and how your life has changed and how it's better now. The next type of book that sells really well for nonfiction is a system. And you'll hear me talk about this many times, whether you do a mini book or whether you do a full book. It's perhaps the top 52 meditations that you share with your followers. And 52 is, of course, the number of weeks in the year. So we've used that number several times. But we've often used crazy numbers like 17 or 31. It just depends on what fits with your message and what fits with the mission that you're trying to give to the world. The fourth type of book that we see come through a lot is what I call societal. And that's where if you have been following us for very long, you know that we do a lot of anthologies. And that's a community type of society aspect where 30 to 40 people will get together and write on one topic. That becomes a community. You get to know each other because all the authors are invited to meet and greets, and they get to know each other through different events that we arrange around that book. That creates a new community and a new society. Now, that can also mean something as simple as a single author may be collecting trivia about a community or an organization that that person has been involved with for many years. They take that trivia, or they take that information, and they put it into a book. And that is also known as a societal book. So if you're ready to write that book that you've been thinking about, we can help you figure out what category it is, where you fit into the whole system. I'm Cathy Davis, daviscreativepublishing.com. We're ghost publishers of solo books and anthologies. We do all the work and you get all the accolades.